Look at all your beautiful faces.
Annie, you're up.
Yes, we're still welcoming folks into the room, but for those of you who are waiting and for those who are still hopping on, welcome, welcome. We are beyond overjoyed to have you all here with us. As those of you who know me well know, I get very emotional and it means a lot that you're all here. This started as a little seed of how we, the artists who play at rallies and activist events, can share some of our tips about how to get out the vote. And we thought, well, we don't need to be the only ones sharing because we're not the only ones sharing. So how about we all share songs and have a little space in between for those of you who are participating to share your thoughts and ideas. And it snowballed, and so that's pretty much what we're going to do. So welcome. We're going to introduce each other. Everybody is just delighted, warming up, sitting in the room, ready to welcome you with song. And a couple little things. We do have a little chat window on the side. We're asking that when you do have, after the artists are finished singing, when it's time for audience to share a tip, raise your hand and our wonderful moderator Brian will let you in, unmute you, and you can share your link in the bar on the side. At the very end, I'm going to collect that and I will have a document that's available either on artist walls or via email, but because chat moves so quickly. So when you do share your tips, share it on the side, and then after we're done with songs and our little spaces in between, there's going to be a little gathering space time at the end in case we missed somebody. So does that make sense? So let's see, what else? I will be singing a song about what gives you hope. So those of you who happen to be in the room who have a little piece of paper, if you can write down what gives you hope, even if it's going to be backwards on the screen, have that ready to hold up. I think that's it. So I am so excited to pass the torch to my dear brother, Joe Crookston, who is going to introduce one of the other amazing artists. So, Joe.
All right. Welcome, everybody, and just so grateful that you're here with us. And like Annie said, this began as a seed, as a late-night conversation of ways in which we could do workshops, and then it quickly turned into, wouldn't it be great to do a gathering of folks to collect information, to collect links, and to work together as a team in a way to get out the vote, to learn, to educate ourselves, and I'm excited for learning. And I'm going to just reiterate that not everyone will have a chance to speak because we have a lot of people, which is amazing, but please type links and information into the chat, and we are going to make a great document that will go out to everyone as a resource list. So welcome, welcome. Just love to be with you all. And I am so excited for our moderator and our MC and Amy Carol Webb, who I love. I have met at conferences, at concerts, and the first time I heard her sing and walk on stage and shine, 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 and be who she is, well, in 2011, she was ordained as a minister, and she is the reverend at the River of Grass Unitarian Congregation in Florida. She's a beautiful soul. She's a facilitator. She's a gatherer of people and holds a space in a beautiful way. So I would like to introduce to you all our sister, Amy Carol Webb.
Hey, thank you, Joe. I was trying to think how long we've been friends now. It's been lifetimes, and just the past 5 months has been an extra lifetime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to have you in my life too. One of the things we're responsible for is saying what we see, and not being afraid to do that, and not being afraid to do that in very honest and forthright terms. The time for beating around the bush is long, long past. When we see it, we got to tell it. When you see a sister lost and confused, you gotta tell somebody. When you see a brother broken and bruised, you gotta tell somebody. When we see big talkers twisting the truth, you gotta tell somebody. When we see the system failing our youth, you gotta tell somebody. When you see the truth sees you, and you gotta tell somebody. When we see how we're living is making us sick, you gotta tell somebody. When Viagra gets fast-tracked but not RU486, you gotta tell somebody. When we see pollution poison the earth, you gotta tell somebody. We see the rich man's hand in the poor man's purse, you gotta tell somebody. When you see the truth sees you, and you gotta tell somebody. Now nothing gets better when good people stand by, just shaking their heads and counting tears that they cry. You gotta say what you see, you gotta say it out loud, you gotta open your heart, you gotta open your mouth. But you know, we're not only responsible for saying what's wrong, we also gotta say what's right. When you see the horizon filling with light, you gotta tell somebody. When you see good people turning wrong into right, you gotta tell somebody. When you find a way free in spirit and thought, you gotta tell somebody. You gotta roll, you gotta walk, you gotta talk that talk, you gotta tell somebody. When you see the truth sees you. When you see the truth sees you. When you see the truth sees you. And you gotta tell somebody. You gotta tell somebody. You gotta tell somebody. You gotta tell somebody. Hey, thank you. I see those hands. I see you wailing in the background. I just wish we were in the room together. But I'm so, so grateful that we have this technology that can keep us connected in this time, this unprecedented time, paradigm shift, and finding ways to keep moving things forward. We really do have a chance to rebuild after this time, because we're going to have to. And this is our chance to do it in the way that we want to see it done. It's going to take an awful lot of work, and the first place we got to start, outside of the work we're doing in our own communities, in our own homes, in our own families, is getting out the vote. Because that's what we find all the way down to school board when we get people in there who are working to make the world really, truly better for everybody. That's how things change. So my organization that I'm supporting out of many this year, and I've seen some of y'all already post about it, is UU the Vote. That is a program that's being done by our Unitarian Universalist groups, and you don't have to be a UU in order to do it. All you really have to do is want to get the vote out. You got to believe in love and justice. You got to believe that we can build the world that we dream of. And so UU the Vote is a great place that all of these things have been centralized. And once you register, they will start telling you things that you can do from your home in pandemic, staying safe and still getting out the vote. There's one other thing I want to mention before we open this up to some conversation, before we move into the next piece of music. Put this phrase in your mind. I just heard it a couple of days ago and it made so much sense to me. October is the new November. Say it with me. October is the new November. So here's what you got to do. You order your mail-in ballot today. You order your mail-in ballot. When it gets here, you get it ready. On the first day of early voting, you find out where in your county you can drop that off in a secure ballot box. We just did ours in a Florida primary at an early voting polling place, and they had a secure bin, locked everything, so it doesn't go through the mail. So all this sabotage of our U.S. postal system, which is a travesty, you're not at the mercy of that. You know you delivered your ballot, and in a lot of places, you can track your ballot. I can in Florida. I know you can in Virginia. I don't know about other places. Double check with your Department of Elections. That way you know your vote got there. And it wasn't dependent on a mail system that they're trying to make us not be able to depend on. That was quite the sentence. But October is the new November. This is when we vote, October. So Brian, let's, do we have any raised hands? Anybody that wants to offer something right now before we move into the next part of our music? We will have time after the music has all been played. Well, for this day, the music will never all be played. After we have our session today, our round, we will still be on for a little bit so we can talk and share resources. And as Annie said and Joe said, we'll have a master document at the end of this that we'll be sharing on our Facebook pages and in our email and other places. So you will see everything that we have gathered together to get out the vote in your area.
Hey, Amy, can I?
Yes.
Maybe we can shout out a couple that we've seen in the chat, since there
Yes,
probably will be more. So Ellen was sending in vote411.org, a one-stop resource for nonpartisan election information, including amendments, candidate voter guides, and forums by the League of Women Voters.
Yes, wonderful. Gotta love that League of Women Voters. Anything else that's gone by that we need to raise up right now before we sing some more? All right. There will still be opportunities. This is not the only one. So if you got something in your pocket, we'll be asking you again as we go on today. Well,
Amy,
yes.
could I ask you just to go over the mail ballot, the delivery method again, just one more time? I want to really understand, even if it's one or two sentences, just say that again. I really want to understand the physical voting.
Okay,
better.
so you order your absentee ballot. You order it today, if you haven't done that already. As soon as it gets here, you fill it out. It's ready to go. Then the first day of your early voting in your area, you go to the place your Department of Elections says you can drop that ballot securely. So in Broward County, where I live in Florida, you can drop it at an early polling place, or you can drop it at designated drop boxes in secure locations around the county. So you haven't dropped it in the mail, you have dropped it in a box. And I will tell you, it was this huge bin, about 3-4 feet tall, huge bin with a slot, and it was locked up. And those get picked up and carried to the counting place, and they get opened up and counted in advance in Florida. And you can track it on the Department of Elections website in my county. Check yours.
Yeah,
And 411.org will help you with that. So
Thank you
order your
so much.
absentee ballot. Fill it out as soon as you get it. Your first day of early voting, you drop it in a box somewhere that is secure according to your Department of Elections, and you have not put it through the mail.
So you
And-
can
and-
call your Department of Elections. I know for mine, I call them up and I say, where is the list of drop boxes? And we have been sharing where the drop boxes are in
Yep.
our, here at the polling. They are actually collected every day. So call, tell folks you know to call your election headquarters and they'll be able to fill you in.
And then when this is all over, in 2021, we will restore the post office and improve it from what it was supposed to be to begin with. All
Thank
right.
you, Amy.
Thanks for that question. I am honored and delighted to bring in Melanie DeMore. If you haven't heard her, this is your lucky day. She is a vocalist, a songwriter, a choir leader, a vocal activist, a music activist, an educator. And when I say activist, I mean, if you've heard her sing and you don't get busy making this world a better place, you did not hear her. Her voice gets in your heart and rearranges the furniture as she did mine. So I'm really, really pleased and delighted to bring Melanie DeMore here to the screen to share her voice, her music, her message with you that got me at the bone level. And I hope it does for you too. Melanie, welcome.
Amy, thank you. What a sweet introduction. Well, good morning, people. I am here in Oakland, California. And if you don't know, Oakland is the place where the Black Panthers began. So I am in a wonderful simmering sauce of activism. So I want to do my song, One Foot in Front of the Other, Lead with Love. So it will, if you can, you stand up, if you can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clap. And just a little bit behind this song, I wrote this song the day after the election in 2016. I was doing a residency in Minneapolis and St. Paul, walked into rehearsal at one of the middle schools. A couple little black kids stopped me and said, Miss Melanie, does this mean we're going to be slaves again? I said, okay, we need to talk, babies. First of all, they're going to have to go through me to get to you. Second, there are more people with you than against you. I talked to them about the gutting of the Voting Rights Act in 2013, and I talked to them about the Electoral College being based on race and class. And I said, but what I want you to think about, babies, is this. I want you to think about the people who started their movements. I want you to think about Martin Luther King. I want you to think about Dolores Huerta, Cesar Chavez, Mother Teresa, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. All of these people started their movements out of the love of their people, not out of the hatred of someone else. Let me see some head nodding and some that's right, that's right. So here is the song. And you're just gonna clap, little call and response in the middle. You know what's happening. You clap, you throw your heads back, and you sing your lips off. Here we go. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. And we gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too, but here I am, right next to you. So we gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Big finish. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. Well, yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Ain't no other way to go. I'm just saying. So, thank you for having me here with you, and thank you for singing that. I could hear each and every one of you. You know, all of us here on this together today, we all understand that the power and the medicine that is music. And in every great movement, there's always been song. And it is what gives us the power and energy to take one more step when we feel like we can't do it, or when it all feels so heavy. But what I've found, you know, you lead with that, you lead with your heart. It's just easier. And you know, hope is hard to kill, and it's not an easy thing to maintain. There's really nothing light about hope. There's a lot of light in hope, but it's not a light thing to keep going. And so I'm really glad to be here. And the organization I want to put up is votingwhileblack.com. And it's a wonderful site where you can register to vote on there. You can get all different kinds of information about your part of the country and what's happening there. Plus, they send you a wonderful sticker that I love. I'm Black and I vote. And, you know, I was thinking about this. You know, the Voting Rights Act wasn't passed in the United States until 1965. And I was 11 years old. And in terms of our history, I realized my father was born only 60 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. My father died in 2014. All of these things are really, really right up in our face. And right now we have an opportunity to make some serious change. And I want to thank all of my activist musician family for being the voice out there, because it will not change without you. Nothing will change without you. You get yourself together and you vote. I've been voting absentee for years because I've been on the road a lot. And if I'm home, I walk my ballot over there and I drop it into the thing, watch it go into the slot. And the most important thing that you can do, folks, is vote. And I have told people, look, I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I will come to your house in a full-on hazmat suit, saran wrap my car, and I'll put a baby pool in the backyard full of disinfectant. You can sit your behind in there, and I will take you to the poll. I ain't kidding. You know what I'm saying? I ain't kidding. We don't have to do that. I'm gonna have to Black Panther y'all. We are going there. So I'll put in a Voting While Black in the box there. And I have the pleasure of introducing Tom Prasada Rao. What a brother. First of all, Here is a human being who walks the walk and talks the talk. And talk about leading with love. When I first heard his music, I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. This brother leads with his heart. And he understands that the tenderness is fierce. So, Brother Tom, take it away, brother.
All right. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for that song that got everybody up off their feet, except for me, just because I was holding this guitar. But it seems like almost 3 months ago now that George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis. And I was in the middle of chemotherapy at the time, and I was kind of glued to the TV because there was nothing else literally nothing else I could do. And I was just mesmerized by the protests, the spontaneous protests that just erupted everywhere. And it was like 2 or 3 days after George Floyd was killed. And this song started coming to me, and I know what that means. I either have to pay attention to it or I don't. And either I write the song or I lose it. And I thought, man, I'm just not feeling up to it, but I thought I'll give it a few minutes. And so it just kind of came to me. I feel like it was almost given to me, like I didn't really have a whole lot to do with it. But within an hour, the song was written. The words just kept tumbling over themselves as they were coming into my brain, and it was all I could do to write them down fast. But anyway, here's the song. It's called $20 Bill. Some people die for honor. Some people die for love. Some people die while singing to the heavens above. Some people die believing in the cross on Calvary Hill. Some people die in the blink of an eye for a $20 bill. Some people go out in glory, yeah, with the wind at their back. Some get to tell their own story, write their own epitaph. Sometimes you see it coming. Sometimes you don't know until you run out of breath with a knee on your neck for a $20 bill. Oh, brother, I never knew you. And now I never will. Oh, but I make this promise to you. I'll remember you still. So now let this be our communion. It's time to break the bread. Do this in remembrance, just like the good book said. Sometimes the wine is a sacrament. Sometimes the blood is just with Sometimes the law is the devil's last straw, the future unfulfilled. Like the dream they killed. Ooh. For a $20 bill. Well, thank you. That just breaks my heart even now. The other day I heard, I'm sure everybody must have seen those clips of those new video clips that they just released to the public, and it just gets more horrifying every week. I saw Reverend Barber on the television just the other day, I think last week, and he was talking about the Poor People's Campaign and about how if we just concentrated on giving poor people the vote, which they actually have, but they just don't have access to it, that the election wouldn't be close at all. And so the organization that I've chosen to support is the Poor People's Campaign, and I think I put it on the clipboard, so I'll just put it in. There's the URL in the chat. But I did want to mention something else that, so that you know I'm not a hypocrite. I'm probably, hopefully, the only person in this chat who's not going to vote this November. And that's because I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a permanent resident, and I'm a citizen of India. And I just never, I'm a procrastinating musician too, so I never got around to it, and I always assumed getting my citizenship was just going to be a foregone conclusion. But after the Orange Man was elected, I got scared, and I contacted an immigration lawyer, actually a couple, and they said, now's not the time to apply for citizenship. Just make sure that you maintain your permanent resident status until this storm is over, because it's just too dangerous to apply. So you're going to have to vote for me when you vote, and I hope that you do. And I'm so honored to be in such company here today. You guys are my friends and my heroes, and I love your activism, and Annie, I love you like a sister, man. So let's keep doing it.
Thank you so much. That was, well, I think because we're all sharing our thoughts on activism and our heartfelt songs, Amy, I think, was going to kind of lead us back into a little bit of conversation from you all, or I can say, how many of you all would like to share one of your initiatives? I know Arlene Gilbert, my retired New York City judge friend. Arlene, I'm going to put you on the spot. Arlene is one of the leaders and shakers of we live in Florida, in Southwest Florida, and for those of you who are in other parts of the country who are saying, Florida, boo, chop it off. We have an amazing, amazing activist group. There are more of us than of them. We just need to get them out to vote. And we are more than 400 strong, our ROAR organization. So many people that are doing things, writing letters, going to meet with legislators and so forth. And we are rocking it here and hoping like hell we can get this guy out and get Biden and Kamala in the way we got Obama in twice. But can we cut to Arlene? And Arlene, you can tell them about ResistBot, because a lot of folks use it, but some don't know. So can you, Brian, can you unmute Arlene? And there we go.
Oh, it's backwards. I forgot.
It's not backwards.
I wanted to talk about ResistBot. I use that every day during commercials. I get out my heebie-jeebies by getting to ResistBot, It's very easy to contact your elected officials with it. And they also have petitions running all the time. And it's so easy and takes just a moment. It's www.resistbot. I'll put it in the chat box too. Or you could text resist to 50409. And they have it on Facebook chat. It's called ResistBot, and Twitter at ResistBot. And all of those programs, just once you put in your info, and they then have a list of your senators, congressmen, your local officials. It's wonderful. And you can compose your own letters. You can see samples of other people's letters, and it just takes a moment, really. Yesterday, I typed, because on their prompt, I typed USPS, and they immediately asked me if I wanted to send the sample letter that they have, which I did because I wanted to see how quickly it could be done. So I sent my sample, the sample letter to all of the people, and it took me no more than 10 or 15 seconds to send letters to these people. Now, I know people aren't confident that letters do something, but I'm here to tell you they do. When congressmen get a list this high of people who oppose a certain legislation or whatever, they do count those and get worried about it and do something about it. We have to keep on top of the USPS. I see everybody talking about dropping off ballots to the drop boxes, but that disenfranchises those who are ill at home, those who are overseas, like our troops and civilians who are outside the states. And so we not everybody has access to be able to go to these drop-off places and have always depended on dropping it off in the mail. So we have to strengthen our post office. We have to demand that they pass legislation that will help us. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And I will put in the chat box all of that info. Back to you, Annie.
Brian, were you going to let one more person in to share a tip before I introduce Samina?
Yes, Ann Wright, you have your hand up. Would you unmute yourself?
Thank you. My trackpad is stopped working all of a sudden. First of all, I would like to be able to save the chat, and apparently that's prohibited because I'm used to being able to go down on the bottom. There are 3 little dots, and you can save the chat. There's so much good information in there, and I'm hoping other people could save it as well. So if you can do something about that, folks, it would be great.
We will be putting up a document after with all the links in it, but we have disabled saving the chat for now.
So you put up a document online, but how am I going to get it? How am I going to save it?
You can write to many of us are going to share that information. I'm going to go through that all the business in chat.
Okay.
And
Then let me leave that then. Thank you for.
We have a Google Doc that we will call all the information and put it in there and then make it available to everybody.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
What I want to promote is the Movement Voter Project. It's an organization that I don't know how old it is, but it's all promoted by volunteers, and all the fundraising that's done goes to the work that's done in low-income Black and brown communities in the swing states to help organizers there who are motivated to be organizers to learn better and better skills for organizing. That it's actually tax deductible because the 30 paid organizers who go out into these different communities are funded by a foundation that's been going on at least a couple years. So it's called Movement Voter Project, or MVP. And I am so impressed with these people. And Arlene, you're not backwards. You weren't backwards before. It's wonderful, but they're just amazing. I did put a little blurb about them in the chat. So I hope people will look into it.
Thank you so much.
Very exciting to me.
I did see one thing go by in the chat that we should also raise up. Complete your census. Complete your census. by September the 30th. Do it sooner if you possibly can. So order your mail-in ballot, complete the census. As long as you're on the computer, do both things at one time.
Okay, so we're going to move along. It is beyond my honor to introduce one of my other sisters of another mother, Samina Ahmad. We go back through music and through wellness. Samina is not only an accomplished musician and medical doctor, but she also is a wellness educator. She is going to be singing with her son, Sherjan, and also Salim Khan is going to play tabla. How exciting is that? And you're going to be singing in Sufi, and so many of the songs of your region in Pakistan are songs. Bring me to driving in a truck through Pakistan myself. When I heard you, I choked up already. But they have all played for places like the UN General Assembly and Rubin Museum, and Samina and her husband Salman started this Salman and Samina Global Initiative, Wellness Initiative, and it is all based on interaction between interfaith, cross-cultural dialogue, health and wellness, and music. So they bring all of these together. They're involved with the Brookings Institute. They do amazing things around the world. And we are fortunate to have them here. They live just outside of New York. And also Sherjan has a band, Jeem, yes, and many other bands. And they've all played with Janoon, who are kind of like the U2 of that region. And when they're not being rock stars, they're here with us sharing stuff about getting out the vote. So thank you, dear sister, for being here. We love you.
Love you too, my dearest Annie Wenz, and everybody who is on this platform right now. I'm so deeply honored for such a wonderful introduction and to be on this platform where we're trying to make a change. And the song I'm going to sing for you is a Sufi folk song, which is sung in the subcontinent, in India and Pakistan. And this song actually is about unity. It's about oneness. And through this song, what I would like to achieve is send the light from my heart to yours and try to break all walls. It's called Dam Dam Mast Kalandar, Lal Meri Pat, and a song by the Sufi saint Lal Shahbaz Kalandar. Oh, Lal Meri Pat, Rakhiyo Bala Chule Lalan, Sindri da Sevan da Shahbaz Kalandar. Oh, Lal Meri Pat, Rakhiyo Bala Chule Lalan, Lal Meri Pat, Rakhiyo Bala Chule Lalan, Sindri da Sevan da Shahbaz Kalandar. Damadam Mast Kalandar, Sakhi Shahbaz Kalandar, Ali Dam Dam De Andar. Damadam Mast Kalandar, Sakhi Shahbaz Kalandar, Ali Dam Dam De Andar. Oh, Lal Meri, oh, Lal Meri. चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा, चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा, पंजवा में बालन आयो बला झूले लालन, हो पंजवा में बालन, पंजवा में बालन आयो बला झूले लालन, सिंदड़ी दा सेवन दा शाहबाज कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली शाहबाज कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर हो लाल मेरी हो लाल मेरी मावानू पीरा बछड़े देना मावानू पीरा बछड़े देना पैनानू देना वीर मिला झूले लालन हो पैनानू देना पैनानू देना वीर मिला झूले लालन सिंदड़ी दा सेवन दा शाहबाज कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर सखी शाहबाज कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली शाहबाज कलंदर अंजरे लाल कलंदर दमादम लफ्ज कलंदर हुसैनी लाल कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर मस्त कलंदर हुसैनी लाल कलंदर हुसैनी लाल कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर सखी शाहबाज कलंदर सखी शाहबाज कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर दम दे अंदर दम दे अंदर दमादम मस्त दमादम मस्त दमादम मस्त कलंदर ओ Thank you so much. So let's get back to business, right? I'm actually supporting Blue Wave Coalition, www.move.org. And being a medical professional, a doctor, all I can tell you is I've been in the US for the last 18 years, but what I saw this year was horrible and horrific. And my job and duty is to tell you the truth. So all I can tell you is the handling of the COVID-19 was just so insensitive. And for somebody whose job is to save human lives, to see everything going so bad, definitely, hurts me. And it totally, tells me that the leader, our leader right now, doesn't have a good intention. But I also know that people make the change, right? We are the people right now who can and make a difference. So be the change that you want to see. But in order to see that, guess what? You have to take the steps. When you do nothing, nothing happens. When you do something, something happens. So I want you to go out there in November and cast your votes and do the ballots. And this beautiful platform that we are getting because of all these wonderful people on it who are guiding you and telling you to make that difference needs to happen, because hope is a game changer. And I think me, my children, our families, and so many people in the United States are counting on all of you to get out there and cast your vote, because by staying and just talking about it is not going to actually do anything. We have to take an action, and that has to happen for everyone in order to see change in the United States of America. And I'm hopeful that we bring that change so that the next time we are hit by a medical, catastrophe like the one we did right now, we are not sitting twiddling our thumbs. And now I go on to introduce my sister, Annie Wenz. And how do you introduce someone who's done so much? My analogy for Annie Wenz is for people who actually want to be on a roller coaster and not the merry-go-round. There are some people who love a life that's monotonous and random. That's not Annie Wenz. She's a globetrotter, she's a poet, she's a human rights activist, and she travels all over the world, going to these festivals and giving herself there, trying to involve herself in social activism like she has done today. And in spite of how busy she is, she's taken out time to create this beautiful platform for all of us. But a person with a guitar and Native American flute in a bag, and then there's another bag with the percussion as well, her drums. She is basically energy personified. And Salman and I, my husband and I, are so, deeply grateful to have met her. In 2005, when the earthquake struck Pakistan, Annie Wenz actually arrived in Pakistan at the invitation of the then president, and she sang songs of support for people who had lost everything to the earthquake in 2005. And she didn't stop there. She got in touch with us, and then she took us, and we performed at the Philadelphia Folk Festival, and that's how our friendship began. And it's a friendship which is going to last for many years, I know that. And Annie, your experience, your talent is so, it's overwhelming. And I know that you're also a nurse, and you are an integrative practitioner as well. And what you do for people, in hospitals, and what you do for fellow musicians wherever you travel, and you do travel a lot, is give them hope. You heal them through your music. And I salute you, my dear sister, for all that you do. Here's Annie Wenz.
Well, thank you. I'm moved. Thank you. I am so moved by all of you here, because none of us, the musicians who and Brian, our moderator, the musicians who put this together, all of us could not be doing this without all of you, which is why we are leaving space for you all to share. We are all movers and shakers together. And I, like Samina, am sharing MoveOn.org, and the Blue Wave Coalition is an organization where those of us here in Florida are going through the Blue Wave Coalition to do texting campaigns. We get a list on our computer and we hit bang, 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 and we send off texts. Are you getting out have you registered to vote by mail? It's very efficient. It takes very little time. It's a wonderful way to contribute. President Obama has the Adopt a State program for those of you who are already in a state that's kind of zipped up. You can go to Adopt a State, and you say, what state do you want to adopt? So that is another amazing initiative. My whole philosophy this election is we need more than our one vote. That's why I've been ragging on my friends, I'm sorry, and saying, what are you going to do besides your one vote? I'll get off your back, even if it's just donate $10 or $20 or whatever you can afford. So now I will sing. I had asked any of you who were in the room earlier to write down a word on a little thing, what gives you hope, just one word, what gives you hope. And this is a song that I wrote with my dear friend of many, many forevers, Amy Carol Webb, who is also part of the songwriters in this pile, and she's a Unitarian minister. And we decided in the beginning of this year, when we were just so depressed over all we were seeing in the news, I know we've all been riding roller coasters of hope and desperation, and we all communicate on social media. Sometimes we just vent things that are not pleasant to our mothers, but in between that, we try and be hopeful, and that's what this song is about. I would love the artist. We tried this when we did a little rehearsal earlier in the week. The timing may be a little jiggy, but that's okay. I'd like the artist, when I get to the talking part, hope, unmute yourselves, because you're going to answer. So we ready? We stumble, we cry out, we struggle to stay strong. We wander through the darkest nights. We think we're all alone. We wear out the ancient questions. Wait for answers through our tears. We listen through the darkest night. Think that no one else can hear. People look around us, feel the power that surrounds us. Feel the rumble of the thunder as we're raising up each other. What gives you hope? What gives you hope? What gives you hope? What gives you hope? Is it the breath of each new day or ancients showing us the way? Voices of the children speaking truth to fake. Is it the unknown acts of kindness and all the gods in love? Or faith, trust, and compassion, knowing we're enough? People look around us, feel the power that surrounds us, feel the rumble of the thunder as we're raising up each other. Yeah, what gives you hope? What gives you hope? What gives you hope? What gives you hope? Okay, can you all yell out? I know I can hear you in my head, and hold up your little signs about what gives you hope. Ready? Hold up your signs. What gives you hope? Anybody got a sign? What gives you hope? When power, okay, unmute yourselves, artists. When power abuses and demagogues fall, as powerful women lead on with a call. Oh, oh. When the pendulum swings from darkness to light and survivors find peace at the end of the night. Oh, oh, what gives you hope? When the web of all beings connects once again, defying the pillage and plunder of man. Oh, oh, when all creatures run free over all Mother Earth, and each of us know our own power and worth. Oh, 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 people look around us, feel the power that surrounds us, feel the rumble of the thunder as we're raising up each other. Yeah, what gives you hope? What gives you hope? What gives you hope? What gives you hope? Oh, people look around us, feel the power that surrounds us, feel the rumble of the thunder as we're raising up each other. Every single one of you, I'm gonna cry. You give me hope. You give me hope. You give me hope. You give me hope. Now just go vote.
Annie Wenz gives me hope. And all the musicians who are out there spreading the word.
You give us
Get the
hope.
word out to people and using music as their tool and love. And I love all of you. Keep it up. You're wonderful.
For those who don't know who that is up in that window, Brian, can you give Sunny Oaks a window here? Sunny Oaks has pulled all of us in this room together so many times. Whenever we're together, she and I always pass the handkerchief back and forth. And she has gathered up this group of people so many times to share the music of her great late brother, Phil Oaks. Sunny, would you say a word or two?
Well, I keep doing my radio show. I keep playing the music of the activists. I keep a concert series going with music of activists. I'm doing what I can. I'm now 83 years old. I'm trying to pass the torch, but you guys keep me going. I need to stop, but you won't let me. So I guess I definitely have to make it through this election. That's for damn sure. And thank you for doing what you're doing, all of you. And get out the vote. And today, I didn't know about taking, getting the vote by mail thing and then filling it out ahead of time and then handing it in. That's great information. Because we just found out today that we can early vote here in New York, at least in Schoharie County. Didn't know that before today. So it's moving, it's gonna happen. We have to win. There's no if or anything else. Okay, I've said enough. Let's hear some more music.
You gotta unmute yourself, Annie.
did. Here we go. Hi. So this whole thing started when another one of my dear friends in music world, Joe Crookston, and I were having a late. It was like literally not even 2 weeks ago. We're on the phone and talking about how we as activists can get the word out. And I've known Joe for many years because even though he asked me not to say it, I'm the boss of my lips right now, Joe. I'm going to tell everybody what an amazing musician. Joe is an amazing, accomplished musician and painter. You will notice in the background when he gets on the artwork of Joe. But not only does Joe travel around the world performing amazing songs, he would like to be known also as an amazing human and father and person who is a team player and part of community. And I just love how Joe and Amy and Sandy, the core of us started this and everybody else in the pile ran with it. But Joe was the beginning seed. It was a conversation he and I had. So Joe, thank you so much. And I love how you just kept giving way and saying, I don't have to be a star. This is about all of us. So take it away, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Annie. And I just want to say this pandemic and this time off for me has been so healing in the way of I've been very busy and I've been very focused on giving my work in the world and being out there to the best of my ability. And this pandemic has been really challenging for me for parts of it. And in that challenge, I find that I am deeply slowing down and moving more broader. And I think that I've needed to do that for a long time, for a lot of years. And I think my desire to bring good things to the world or to connect sometimes has made me busier than I needed to be. And now I feel like I'm really, really slowing down, but actually being a little more effective in some ways by broadening. And I want to say that I'm amazed at how many people got on today and have shared this. I want to say that if you haven't spoken or didn't have time to speak or don't feel inclined to, please put in the comments an organization or some information that can be useful to someone. I think what we want to do is at the end, if we've said it, but that we're going to compile this information and disseminate it and give it and have us have it at our fingertips to work with. I'm going to say an organization that I'm advocating for too is Postcards to Swing States. And the thing about Postcards to Swing States, and I'll put the link in there when I'm done talking, is that one, it is about 10 swing states where they send you postcards. You buy the 35-cent postcard stamp and put it on it, and then you handwrite and send these to people who they give you mailing addresses. And the thing that's cool about that is obviously they're swing states, but it's also you're supporting the post office. I think by purchasing, so $10, $15, $8, whatever that is, you're buying stamps. So I think that's kind of a dual win. So that's called Postcards to Swing States. I also, some people have mentioned this in the comments, and I really want to reiterate, I live in District 23 in New York State, and Tracy Matrano is running against Tom Reed, and Tom Reed is definitely like a Trump Republican, and Tracy needs to win this district, and so there's a lot of excitement and effort going into the local House of Representative races. So maybe what I'm encouraging everybody to is, what district do you live in? What are the districts that really need some support on a local level, and seek those out. So those are the two things that I want to say. And then the last thing, that when this started, and Annie and Sandy and Amy and I were beginning to plan this and do it, one of my strong feelings for you all is that you're all amazing and you're all have all of this knowledge as well, or ability to facilitate. So what I'm trying to say is that when we get off today, if you looked ahead a week or 4 days or 10 days and chose 20 friends to have a Zoom meeting just like this, where you all shared resources, and you replicated this in some way. So basically, just it could be a happy hour, but do it around voting, or what are the issues, and what are some nuts and bolts information that can be shared amongst you in a fun way. So I'm giving you, I'm not inviting you, I'm imploring you to go to do one of these and host one of these on your own, to really reach out to your circle and then have them do that. And I think that that would be very powerful for you to as an action step. So with that said, I want to sing you a song that is, I guess, relatively new. It came out in 16 minutes, and I feel like we all have work to do, and we're doing that work right now in a very beautiful way. And this is a song about getting down to work. Out there in the country, right here in town, in the middle of the city, they are holding you down. And you are tired, oh Lord, you are tired. Tired are you, and we've got some work to do. Well, they try to dominate you, and they push you around, and they build the architecture that is holding you down. And you are tired, oh Lord, you are tired. Tired are you? We've got some work to do. Oh, my brothers and sisters, with your skin black and brown, we will stand up when they are holding you down. You are tired, oh Lord, you are tired, oh Lord, you are tired. Tired are you, and we've got some work to do. We've got some work to do. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us today. And just amazing community. Love being with you, and I look forward to more. And I miss a lot of you that I haven't seen for a long time. And I want to say, I'd like to open it up now to if there's anybody who would like to unmute and raise your hand, and Brian will unmute you. If you have any organizations, any thoughts, any comments about ways in which we can get out the vote and put it in this Google Doc and create a list. So does anybody have a thought, comment, organization, some information they'd like to share? Please raise your hand, and then Brian will unmute you. Anybody?
I see Sonny's hand up.
Okay, how about we do Sunny? Yeah, Sunny.
Okay, I just wanted to, I forgot to mention this before. You were talking about the importance of writing letters to congressmen.
Yes.
Here's a fact that I heard years ago, which is that if you write a letter, they really take it seriously because they count that letter as being from 100 people, because you are one person and there are 99 others who couldn't be bothered to write, who are thinking like you. So it carries the power of 100. I had an uncle who kept postcards stamped postcards in his vest. And anytime something happened politically, he would rip out a postcard, send it to a congressman, and send it off. It is so important. It really is. Just wanted to let you know that the power of those letters. That's all.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you. Anybody else have a comment, thought, or link that they'd like to share, or some inspiring words, or anything else?
Well, I could say something just because it just came up on Facebook. Sorry, I heard someone else's voice too. I was just looking at the comments on Facebook, and we've got people watching there as well. And Chris Chandler, who's an amazing poet, spoken word artist, activist, and a guy who just make you stand up and cheer and like fall off your chair when you hear him. He wrote, please keep singing. And then he quoted, in quotes, it says, fear a movement that sings. So I think we can keep that in mind, that singing is the kind of unifying, amazing energy that people should fear, because we know that we can do this. We know that we can make the change we need.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Sandy. Well, I'm going to then move it along, and I'm going to say that one of our friends here today, many of you know and love, as we all do, beloved member of our community, Reggie Harris. Reggie is a person who, just hearing his name makes me just be more of who I want to be in the world.
Amen.
And to do that from a place of education, from the deepening what I know. Reggie Harris has been someone who motivates me and others to care about the culture we live in, and to look at it honestly, and then kind of lovingly and in a humble way move into it with fierceness. And that's what I think about with Reggie. I think that we know a lot that he lives in upstate New York. He's part of the Deeper Than Skin with Greg Greenway. It's a live show that he does as a duo with Greg Greenway. Obviously really digging into the issue of race, history, education, storytelling, and basically, right, Reggie Harris, what a beautiful soul. Thank you, Reggie, for being part of this with us and helping us do this, and just for your absolute love and commitment to the work that you do in the world. And also, come on, that smile, right? Look at that smile. That is beautiful. So everybody, please welcome Reggie Harris.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you all. Joe and I have known each other for years, and we don't really know each other at all. We've had, I think, Joe, two conversations, and both of them were amazing. And that's the kind of thing that happens between artists when you really respect somebody's work and somebody's presence. Thank you, Joe, for all the work and for all the amazing energy you put into the world.
Likewise. Thank you.
I've been listening and singing along, and I hear a lot of people talking about being tired, and I certainly resonate with that. Like you, Joe, my time here at home since March the 8th, when I got home, has been very fertile for getting rest and for quieting down, because so many of us keep really passionately active schedules, and we don't always leave time to debrief and to reflect. It's been a time of imposed reflection, but it's been a very fertile time as well, very creative. And I will say this. I feel the fatigue of this time, the frustration. I feel all those things that we've been feeling, the uncertainty. I think in this time, my reflection has refocused me on the fact that I come out of a community that has been working at this for over 400 years. And in that work, and in the fact that, as Melanie and several other people have said, that song has been at the core of that work, that you get tired, you get frustrated, but you get renewed because you are not alone, and because you are standing in the footsteps and on the shoulders of so many who have come before. So in this time, I have reached my points where some days I say, okay, I think I'm going back to bed. But I remember what Flonzie Brown Wright, who was the first African-American woman elected to office in Mississippi years ago, who we had, I work with a group called the Living Legacy Project. I started out 10 years ago as a musical director. Well, actually, I was just a musician on a gig there to provide some music as we took tours to sites of the civil rights movement, and eventually became the musical director, and then finally I'm the co-president of the organization. What was I thinking? But the thing that really resonates, Flonzie Brown Wright came on a voting rights series, and I'm going to invite all of you too. The last Tuesday of each month, we are having a series on Zoom called Voting Rights, The Struggle Continues. I encourage you to come there because you get grounded in the history of those who have been doing this for a long, long time. And Flonzie Brown Wright responded to a question when she was our guest a couple of months ago. Somebody said, do you ever want to give up? Do you ever get so tired? And she said, at 81 years old, I quit this job every night. But every morning I get up and I remember that at 16 years old, I took a vow. So I reinitiate that vow every day. So we will not rest until this storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We are not going to reach the point where we want to get in November. I don't care what happens. So we got to gird our loins, as they say, and keep on keeping on. Get what we want in November, and then the work really begins. So we support each other in spirit and song. We will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We will not rest till the storm is over. Hey, we will not lay this burden down. Hey, we will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. It's been a long, hard journey on a winding road. So many have gone before us. They carried a heavy load, but they went there singing as they made their way. Now it's in their footsteps we follow as we work today. We will not rest till the storm is over. Yeah, we will not lay this burden down. Well, we will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We will not rest till the storm is over. Yeah, we will not lay this burden down. Well, we will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. I know that you're weary. We all feel the pain. Sometimes the actions of the world will try your soul again, but I know there's a better day, and it's coming our way. That's why we're raising our voices as we work today. We will not rest till the storm is over. Yeah, we will not lay this burden down. Well, we will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. All around us there's hatred. All around us there's fear. Violence touches our lives, and the message is clear.
What did you say?
Martyrs. In our hearts they'll stay.
Hold on.
We'll sing, we shall overcome and go on our way. We will not rest till the storm is over. Yeah, we will not lay this burden down. Well, we will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We will not rest till the storm is over. Yeah, we will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. Till we stand all together on solid ground. Till we stand all together on solid ground. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Reggie.
I want to put two things in the chat, and I'll just fire them up here. Living Legacy, uulivinglegacy.org is the organization I'm working with, and we're doing the Voting Rights Series. And if I can find my way to share that, I'll share it in a minute. And also an organization called Vote Forward that also allows people to work toward getting out the vote in around the country. So why don't we open it up for any comments that folks might have, and thank you all for when people say, why aren't there any singers who are like the 60s getting the music out? I say they're all over the place. You just have to dig a little deeper these days. But here we are, folks that I just love for the work that they're doing in the world.
Thank you, Reggie, so much. Anybody else have a comment or a link or a suggestion that they'd like to offer the group? Please put it in the chat and share it with everybody. Yeah, we're getting a lot of great things. People are signing up already for organizations. And one of the things that we talked about, too, was that, yes, we will have this final draft available. And you can also cull through the comments right now in the chat and copy and paste into your own Word document some of the things that interest you or that speak to you or maybe you want to take action on. So when we're finished with this, just so you know that we will wait 10 minutes before we shut it down so that people can scroll through the comments and the chats and find things that are interesting to them, that speak to them, and make a note.
And it's not just getting out the vote, it's encouraging one another, which is one of the things we're doing here today. So Joe, I wanted to say the postcards to swing states. Florida's a swing state. I've been getting those postcards. And so they didn't need to get my vote out, but it felt so good to feel there were people in other places in the country who were thinking about us.
Yeah. And supporting
and
the post office.
So encouraging.
Yeah. Great.
Yes.
Oh, one other thing, some folks have asked about contributing to some of the artists, because some of the artists don't have day jobs like the rest of the planet. So in the document that we'll be sharing, I will put some links if folks have a PayPal or something, so you can donate to some of the artists that have that set up. So that will come, and we will be sharing that. I'll have it on Facebook. I'll have it on my Annie Wenz music page, and anybody can email me or reach out to any of the artists here. I think pretty much everybody, one of us. So.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate or kind of tag on what you just said, Annie, that I think once we have that document, each of us artists who were on today will post it on our Facebook, so that will be, you'll see it there. And each of us who wants to, I know I will, Annie will, we will put it, I'll have a link on my website. They're like, oh, what was that again? You could go to my website or Annie's or Emma's Revolution. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we'll put it in many multiple places so that it's available for you to find it easily without, yeah, great.
Just another place to send postcards is Grandmothers for a Brighter Future. I've been doing that. They send you a bunch of in a format, and you take it from there. I put it on the chat.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, if we're moving forward, I'm going to introduce two of my favorite people in the world, two of my sisters, two of the folks that really get me excited about living and singing. I have sung with them for years and years and years, and knowing Sandy and Pat is knowing the real deal. Their music has been celebrated by Pete Seeger. It's been sung for the Dalai Lama. Their music has traveled all around the world. They keep writing incredible songs. But the thing that I love most about them is, as I say, they're the real deal. They are in the struggle in a passionate way, but they are in it for love and for all of the positive energy that we need to push things forward. They are working on a framework that is bigger than all of us, and they're doing it with music that reaches the heart. So with that, I, with joy, introduce Emma's Revolution.
Thank you, Reggie. We love you so much. We love you all so much and all the work that you're doing. We really appreciate, that sense of community and not being alone in this struggle. It's easy to, get the sense that sometimes that we're the only voice, and we know we're not, but we need a little reassurance every now and then. So it's great to see your faces. It's great to hear your music. It really lifts us up and helps us keep going.
And I want to say before we put our organization in the chat and before we lead this last song, this song is a sing-along, so get ready. But before we do that, I would love to give a great big thank you to this core team that put this together. It was Annie and Joe and Amy who had this idea and who pulled it together. They brought me in to help out a little bit, and then Brian's been doing great work behind the scenes on tech. So please give all of those folks a round of applause. And just such an amazing group of artists. This has been lovely and like heartbreaking and beautiful and inspiring. And I know we're going to be seeing you more and more because October is the new November. September is the new October, and this is still August, and there's work to do right now, people.
Yeah, I put the word out to our activist friends in the DC area, where we used to live, just to hear what folks were recommending, especially around the undermining of the post office. The post office is such an important institution, not just around the vote, but as you've probably heard on the news, people rely on the post office for their checks. For veterans are relying on them for their checks. Elders are relying on them for their medications, and as well as the census is relying on the post office, and this upcoming vote is going to be really crucial to have a strong post office. So they are recommending, of course, that you call your members of Congress, ask them to pass the funding through, of course, which is, I get it, it's going to be tough to get through the Senate, but the more pressure we put on, the harder it is going to be for them to ignore that. But also contact your state representatives, and we need to pass statutes that make clear that that vote counting must be done by a certain date. Let's see, not by December 8th, but by January 6th, and ideally by December 23rd, which still provides crucial additional time. The other thing that they're saying is adopt a postmark rule, whereby every ballot postmarked on or before November 3rd is included in the tally. So make sure that that's included in whatever appeal you put out to your federal or your state representatives. And do the early mail-in. Mail your ballot in as early. Find out in each individual state it will be different. So find out what the rules are for your state and send it in as early as possible, or walk it to the polling place and put it whatever way you can do it.
Fear a movement that sings and dance. Get your vote in.
And let's see. The other thing is, and write directly to this Postmaster General. Write to Louis DeJoy. And there's a
I've
link.
shared the link in the
Great.
chat to this article by a man named Andy Posner, and this was sent to us by our friend Nadine Block, who is an activist who was out in front of DeJoy's house with a group of activists in D.C. to protest him yesterday morning.
Yeah, if you were watching MSNBC, they had some good coverage and some good photos
And
of
I've
those folks.
posted the link on the comments on Facebook. We're not forgetting you, our Facebook friends.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's everything I think from this, and you can check out the article. It's very comprehensive. There's lots of things that you can do.
So just for, so thrilled to be with you and have you all here. And we're going to finish up with the song. I don't know, Annie said it earlier on, sometimes we say the things that, our mothers wouldn't like to hear us say. And this is one of those songs that gives you that opportunity. So you got to sing along for sure. And then, learn it and sing it everywhere you like to sing it. And here we go. Sing with us. We love you all. Let's do it. We know the difference between a president and a king. The corruption, the obstruction. You try to get away with everything. But we know the difference between the truth and the lies. We're calling you out now. There beneath November skies. We're gonna vote your asses out. We're gonna make a world where all our voices count. We'll keep fighting back in every way, and then we'll vote your asses out. We know the difference between a leader and a fake. You failed in this pandemic. Now all our lives are at stake. You held up a Bible and then you threatened to kill. We'll remember in November Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Emmett Till. We're gonna vote your asses out. We're gonna make a world where all our voices count. We'll keep fighting back in every way, and then we'll vote your asses out. No time for Fauci anymore. Coronavirus, what a bore. Badgeless cops, tanks in streets, bunker visits, tantrum tweets. All your cronies cross the land, trying to stop us best they can. Flashbang, tear gas, pepper spray, we'll take you down election day. Hey! And we know the difference between the promise of this land and the workers' empty pockets and the unhoused empty hands. We hold the vision, read our writing on the wall. Another world is possible, true justice for all, and we're gonna vote your asses out. We're gonna make a world where all our voices count. We'll keep fighting back in every way, and then we'll vote your asses out. We're gonna vote your asses out. We're gonna make a world where all our voices count. We'll keep fighting back in every way, and then we'll vote your asses out. much fun seeing you all sing along.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. So we are gonna, and I think someone else is doing the wrap, but just so you know, we're gonna leave this space open with the chat up so you can copy things down. If you want to make notes before that document gets up on Google. And we're gonna say goodbye to our friends on Facebook. We're gonna see you in the streets, and whoever's wrapping up, there might be some more news about whatever's next.
And I think some of the artists have upcoming shows where we're going to be benefiting different organizations. I know Jamie Michaels and I have one for the food bank. I know all of you as well have stuff coming up. So put that, we will be sharing those kinds of things. Emma's Revolution does a whole weekly. Amy, every one of us, we're all doing things so we can share that. Plus, we will repeat some of the links and we'll gather that up and make sure it's available. So I know, Amy, you were going to kind of bring us out, right?
Well, I just wanted to say what a great gift it has been to be with all of you here today and to see your faces. And thank you so, so much for giving us your Sunday afternoon. That's no small thing. And and at the same time, we're all kind of zoomed out so that you took time to come and be on a screen with us and share music in this way. It just is so moving. It's so touching. And it starts these ripples out into our communities. All of the artists, I just love to gather up in a room with you. If this is the closest we can get, I will give it everything I've got to get to be with you. Thank you for all of your voices, for all of you speaking in the chat with all of the things that you're doing. It is so heartening. It is so encouraging. The news tends to tilt so often towards the catastrophic and towards the negative, and we can forget how many people there are out there doing really great work on behalf of love and of justice, and I know all of you are, and I know all of the artists are. So we're just going to leave this open here for a minute while people can get some stuff out of the chat if you don't want to wait for that document that Annie's going to be pulling together. Thank you, Brian, for helming the tech so that we could turn loose and play music. Thanks to the core that got it all going, and all of you artists who said yes to come into this room and gather together on a Sunday afternoon and make things a little bit better. You are the difference. You are what give us hope, at least for me, to see you and to see all your work, to see your faces here in this. Someday we'll see each other outside of this little rectangle, and we'll be saving up hugs until then.